Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. One of my favourite vinyl community channels is JT's Record Room. Like me, has an eye for a bargain. I particularly enjoy his thrift store finds videos. Well, he's just passed 1,000 subscribers and he's having a competition to celebrate the fact, and I thought I'd enter the competition. So very briefly, the rules are show 3 albums from 3 different genres that you like, show an album you've bought recently from a current act, and also show a guilty pleasure record. And first up, I've got Johnny Cash and Jerry Lee Lewis and Sunday Down South. And I've called this genre religious country. Jerry Lee Lewis's tracks really show off his more pure singing voice and a more sedate piano playing style. So you can hear from these tracks that the transition from rock music to country music was always going to be easy for him. The track Will the Circle Be Unbroken, I think, is a really good version of that classic traditional track. Guitarist Luther Perkins and bassist Marshall Grant really excel backing Johnny Cash, but the focus is always, of course, on the vocals and the lyrics of Johnny Cash. The most notable track on here is a Johnny Cash original called Belshazzar, which was one of the first songs that Johnny Cash ever wrote, and it's based on a story from the Bible. Next up we have Brinsley Schwartz and original Golden Greats. And this came out on United Artists in the mid-1970s, and it was my introduction to Brinsley Schwartz, mainly because it sold for the price of a single and as a way of promoting the band. Highlights on here include Nick Lowe's ballad Don't Lose Your Grip on Love, which based on the title alone you just know is going to be a great song. And also another song by Nick Lowe, Surrender to the Rhythm, which betrays an interest certainly in the music of the band and Little Feat. Brinsley Schwartz have a fascinating history dating back to the mid-60s, and I'm going to try and show this on screen. This is from Pete Frame's Rock Family Trees, and if I just move that up, hopefully that's shown on screen okay. And so a couple of the members of Brinsley Schwartz, Bob Andrews and Brinsley Schwartz himself, went on to play in Graham Parker and the Rumour. And the third genre that I've come up with is poetry with musical accompaniment, and for that I've chosen the album Sir John Betjeman's Britain. This came out in 1977. When I think of quintessentially English voices, I think of people like Noel Coward, Alan Bennett, Laurence Olivier and John Betjeman. Many songwriters laughingly get referred to as being poets, but this is real poetry to touch the soul. The most moving track for me on here is Autumn 1964, and special mention must also be made of the accompaniment by Jim Parker. He wrote the music, and he also conducts members of the New Philharmonic Orchestra, and I think this is just a lovely album. Right, next up it's my guilty pleasure, and this is a term I don't really subscribe to because I couldn't care less what anybody else thinks about my musical taste, but I suppose some people would refer to Baker Street by Gerry Rafferty as a guilty pleasure, but what I like about it is Rafferty's just stunning vocals, his real precision production, and also the saxophone solo, and it was included on the album City to City. And finally, it's show a new album by a current recording artist, and I've gone with HUSHDROPS and The Static. This has been released on the Pravda label. It came out, I think, in November last year. It's their third album. They're a 3-piece that come from Chicago, and considering consisting of John San Juan on vocals and guitar, Jim Shapiro on bass, and the drummer on this record is Joe Camarillo on drums and vocals. But very sadly, he passed away during the recording of the album at the age of just 52, and it stands as a tribute to his talent. Their sound has a live in the studio feel, and a looseness similar to the Rolling Stones and the Faces. San Juan's nasal tones remind me a bit of Davy Von Bolen, who used to be in the band The Promise Ring, if you remember them, and Maritime. And his guitar solos simply explode from the speakers. Okay, and that's the albums that I've chosen, the records I've chosen, and check out JT's Record Room, and I've mentioned him again in the description below. Okay, I'll see you again soon.